Hey folks, Shawn over at the Annuity Expert. In today's video, we're going to show you an example of what I've expressed in previous videos about how designations for financial professionals are just salespeople, salesmen and women hiding behind designations, hiding behind a label so that you trust them even further, okay? So for those of you that and this is specifically referring to annuities only. So investing, any kind of advice on that is totally separate. But when it comes to annuities, you shouldn't buy annuities because someone has a certain designation, okay? Reason being is an annuity is a legal contract. So if you wanted to go with a fiduciary that's legally binded to sell you a product, do what's in your best interest, you already can do that with a legal contract. Okay, so here's the example. I got a comment yesterday. As you can see, it says here, for those of you that can't see it, I made a video maybe a month ago about how Allianz products are some of the worst annuity products in the United States, but it's with one of the best companies in the United States, if not one of the best companies in the world. So just to recap, Allianz, I'm a former employee. They are a phenomenal company, phenomenal. Like when you look at, if you listed all of the annuity companies in the United States, Allianz is in that top three, okay? But the products are middle of the road at best. So what that means to you is your bottom line hurts, okay? And a lot of people sell Allianz products. A lot of fiduciaries, a lot of financial advisors sell Allianz because their bosses require them to sell those products. So here's the comment I got reflecting that video. I had one, meaning an Allianz product. I had one Allianz annuity for 7 of the 10 years. And the fiduciary advised me to pay the surrender fee and market value adjustment, which ends up being more than the percentage I received, meaning they took a loss for surrendering it. I lost half my interest I earned. That took 7 years. So just so they can have me sign another 10-year 222 plus with lower interest again. I was supposed to start collecting on the 7-year one in 3 more years, now locked into another 10. I'm probably going to take them all out and I will be lower than what I was 7 years ago. Okay, so let me explain it to you. Okay, so 7 years ago, a fiduciary, someone who is legally obligated to do what's in the best interest of you, the consumer, sold them an Allianz 222 annuity. I've made, for an income product and for a growth product, one of the worst products out there, okay? But it's one of the most sold products out there because of banks and credit unions and big shop brokerages and all that stuff. So anyway, so the way the product works, the Allianz 222 is it's a 10-year annuity. You don't get any sort of premium bonus, but you get an income bonus, okay? And I don't know what the income bonus is with this scenario because they change multiple times a year, right? So 7 years ago could look completely different from today. And the idea is that you start your lifetime income in year after 10 years, so year 11, okay? And then you get an income for the rest of your life, and then that income increases based on the index returns you receive from the performance. And if you want income prior to the 11th year, you have to take penalty-free withdrawals, which ultimately reduces your income-based value and your lifetime income in the future, okay? The hot selling point was there's no fees. You get the income rider at no additional charge. Well, with annuities, because they're commodities, you get what you pay for. So if you get a free lifetime income rider, you're getting a piece of crap lifetime income rider compared to one that you pay for, right? Anyways, so what this fiduciary did, someone who is legally obligated to do what's in the best interest of the consumer, in year 7, they advised this consumer to surrender the contract and buy a new Allianz 222 Plus, which is almost the same thing as what it was before, right? And what happened? That fiduciary made another commission for a product and started the process all over again. What do I mean by start the process all over again? This person had a Allianz 222. They were in year 7. They could start income after 10 years. So they had 3 more years left before they could start their lifetime income. And because this fiduciary is a jackhammer, that's not the right word, a jackhole, he replaced it and started the 10-year process all over again, right? Now, where would that make sense to make a replacement? It would never, ever make make sense to replace an old Allianz 222 for a new Allianz 222 because you start the clock all over again before you start your lifetime income. And if there's some sort of combo strategy of taking 10% penalty-free withdrawals and starting the income in the future, you're basing it on the performance that Allianz gives to you, which has been piss poor all the way back to where the Allianz 222 used to be called the Endurance Plus. All those products, for the most part, have been dog shit. And so this guy started all over. Where it would have made sense if he would have replaced it with an annuity that had a contractual guaranteed income, maybe because the 222 was purchased in a lower interest rate environment, and he could have purchased a new annuity with a contractual guaranteed income starting in year 4, not another 10 years. And that person, this person that left this comment, would have known what their future income would be in year 4 when they're ready to retire. Okay. So I don't have all the context here from this comment, but I have enough information to tell you just that this is a awful advisement to replace an old Allianz 222 for a new Allianz 222 when there are products out there that will guarantee more income starting in year 4. And this person did it. So I don't have all the context, so I have to make an assumption here. But my assumption is this person did it to make another commission, right? You know, and the consumer is going to follow the advisement of a fiduciary because the fiduciary is legally obligated to give you the best advice for your situation. I don't see any scenario where this person would have been better going into a brand new Allianz 222. And the only reason why I would think that this fiduciary would recommend the Allianz 222 instead of any other annuity is that a lot of fiduciaries they only sell 1, 2, or 3 different annuity products, either because they're restrained to the products they can sell or they're lazy and they don't want to learn all the different products. It becomes a cookie cutter process. You go to a large brokerage firm, you know who I'm talking about. They create processes, cookie cutter processes. And in that cookie cutter is one of maybe 2 or 3 products. This 222 is it. And my assumption, not a fact, is that this person fell into a cookie cutter process and ended up with not only originally getting a shitty annuity product, but got rolled over into another shitty product where the lifetime income rider doesn't start for another 10 years. So, and just to back it up, they left another comment. I only got a little over 1%, probably fees and everything else. So this person earned 1% interest as an average. We get, if just inside baseball information, when we get people who are pissed off about their annuities, the majority of them are Allianz products because their products aren't good for most scenarios. Here's the 2 scenarios where Allianz shines. Number 1, if you're looking for lifetime income, you're starting immediately and it's increasing income. If the increasing payment out the gate, so immediately, is in the same ballpark as their competitors, then I would go Allianz all day long, right? So if Athene is same or less, North American, Midland, you know, these other products that have increasing income options that are A+ rated. If Allianz is beating them, go Allianz all day long. right? But that's the only scenario, okay? Somebody who doesn't want level income. They want increasing income, which is a lower payout at the beginning and increases over time. The second scenario would be using the Allianz 222 for an enhanced death benefit. So, hey, I don't need the money. I want to leave this money to my beneficiaries. I want to beef up the death benefit by utilizing the income bonus that I get, plus the interest that's earned over time, and that'll be a life insurance alternative. Other than that, products are garbage. Great company, garbage products. So getting back to what I was saying at the beginning, this fiduciary, people really, once again, referring to just annuities. I'm not talking about investing. I'm not talking about crypto. I'm only talking about annuities in this video. Okay. People tend to put fiduciaries in the same category as a doctor or a lawyer, right? Somebody who's went to school for 8 years and been through strenuous training to become a licensed practitioner, right? Well, that's not the case. You could be a fiduciary in less than 5 years, usually in 3 years if you're intelligent enough. Getting a CFP or some sort of designation. I've got a CRPC. It took me less than a day to get a CRPC. I mean, it's designations are just labels salesmen hide behind when it comes specifically to annuities. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because annuities are self-managed products for the most part. Outside of variable annuities, which we don't recommend you getting because they're so damn expensive for what you get. Fixed annuities, fixed index annuities, the Allianz 222, it manages itself. It's up to you, the consumer, to determine up front if the product is a good product for your scenario or not, right? If this fiduciary was truly doing something, if this fiduciary was doing what's in the best interest of this person that left this comment last night, they would have done one of two things. They would have left it alone, or they would have moved it to an annuity that had a higher payout starting in year 4, and it wasn't determined by some sort of index performance, like most of Allianz products are, okay? It was based on contractual guarantees. This person would have known what their income would have been in year 4, and they would have compared apples to apples to what the Allianz 222 product would have presented. And to be honest, I think the Allianz 222, even though it's been in that contract for 7 years, I bet you the payouts were dog shit compared to what they could get with a Midland or a North American or an Athene, right? Why? Because they bought it in a lower interest rate environment. And the product they bought is a piss poor product because your lifetime income is based on your index performance. And Allianz is notorious for giving middle of the road at best returns on their products, right? And I've created another video about the Allianz 222 if you want to check it out. But this is just proof in the pudding. This is, if you've listened to my other videos or podcasts, this is a prime example of knuckleheads selling annuities for either the wrong reasons or they're selling the wrong products. Okay, let me elaborate on that real quick, and then we'll let you go. Okay. In the past, annuities have gotten a bad rap because financial professionals, fiduciaries, have said, "Oh, don't buy annuities." When I got in this game in 2008, 18 years ago, the common complaint was, don't buy annuities. It's hefty commissions, it's hefty fees, it's hefty commissions. All they're doing is selling it for hefty commissions. Well, now annuities are in its 4th year of record-breaking sales. Why? Because those fiduciaries got on the bandwagon. Now, the same people who bashed annuities in the 2000s and the 2010s are now selling annuities. Why? Because the products are better than them managing the money. Okay. Now, one of the tactics that were used over a decade ago was insurance agents and annuity agents sold annuities strictly to make hefty commissions, and they weren't doing what's right by the customer. Here is a prime example of the same type of person making the same type of mistake. They're selling an annuity, and then they're churning it for a new annuity to make another commission. Now, what I don't understand is how Allianz would allow that replacement to happen, because there's no premium bonus when you're replacing a 222. Most insurance companies, they have a rule. Their suitability team has a rule in place where it's the client has to be the same or in a better position when they replace the old annuity for a new annuity. So this tells me, if I'm looking at this comment, that this person told them to surrender it and then make a replacement. So maybe there wasn't a direct internal replacement there. I don't know, but that replacement should have never happened, because the person ends up in a lower position than what they were previously. So don't let designations, don't let fiduciary labels, fiduciary, CFP, when it comes to annuities, don't let that be the reason why you buy the annuity, because you're likely, highly likely, to be put in a garbage annuity contract, either because the fiduciary doesn't know any better, they're limited on what they can sell to you, or they're just trying to or you're in some sort of cookie cutter process, right? The same couple that came into that office behind you were in the same exact product, right? So anyway, I hope this gives you some context. My response to them was, sorry to hear this happen. Unfortunately, this kind of situation we often see when an annuity is replaced primarily to generate another commission, not because it clearly improves the client's outcome. Consumers also need to understand that the fiduciaries are not still salesmen in many cases. The title sounds cleaner, but it does not automatically remove conflicts of interest. A fiduciary can still sell products, collect advisory fees, charge asset-based fees, and recommend a strategy that benefits their business. A designation or title does not replace the math. Can the annuity be replaced with a higher contractually guaranteed lifetime income, better terms, or a stronger overall outcome? For you, the consumer, at the end of the day, you should start with the bottom line. What's going to give you the best outcome for your specific scenario? And I can tell you the 222 is at the bottom of the list. So I hope this answered the question, and we'll catch you on another video. See ya.